Bowers Wilkins have launched the successor to the Pi7. It's surprising, the Pi8, hoping to fix some of the issues that they had with the previous versions, but also they're now launching into a space that's extremely cluttered. There's a lot of options for us at the moment if you are into the market to buy a pair of these, and some of the more entry-level ones are actually really good. And to add to those challenges, these are a premium pair of earbuds. I mean, it's probably like that to pay David Beckham, right? I'm pretty sure it's not cheap. Jokes aside, let's see how well it plays ball and where it fits into the playing field at the moment and if it's actually worth picking up. Firstly, this is one feature-packed set of earbuds. There's very little missing out of this offering at the moment. Plus, they've added a few things that other earbuds don't actually offer. In the box, you get a special aux cable to USB that connects to the earbud case. Then what you do is you plug the aux cable into any auxiliary output. The case then becomes a wireless transmitter. It will transfer audio wirelessly to your earbuds, which is awesome. They use the example of on the website and on the marketing material of plugging this into an in-flight entertainment system as a good use case. But honestly, there are so many others that I've discovered. So you can play music on your guitar, right? And you can monitor it with your headset if you don't want to make a noise, if you've got an electric guitar. Or you can use it on an Xbox that actually doesn't support Bluetooth natively for audio for some reason, and the PlayStation Portable, which also doesn't support Bluetooth. You have to get like really special PlayStation earbuds if you want to have wireless Bluetooth to it. So now basically any device that has an audio auxiliary out that doesn't support Bluetooth is now potentially a wireless sound system. And even if it does support Bluetooth, if you want to watch something on the TV quickly and you don't want to have to fuss around and with a pair of headsets, maybe you're in a hotel room, for instance, all you need to do is just plug it in. It's actually genius. Bose actually offers something really similar to this with their QuietComforts. It's called AirFly, but it's a separate product that you have to buy on top of the earbuds. So kudos, Bowers. The charging case can actually wirelessly charge, which is great, especially for those of us with Samsung devices and Samsung phones that can reverse wirelessly charge. They also fast charge through the included cable, which means that just charging the buds for about 15 minutes should net you about 2 hours of listening time. It's great just before a gym session. And in total, Bowers & Wilkins claim to a 6.5 hour battery life with ANC on, which is actually below standard. For most people, I feel that's not really going to be a big deal. I'm the kind of person who isn't taking tons of, long flights, for instance, and I usually use these for like a gym session or working through the day, and I could just pack it in. And that fast charging really does help when the battery life isn't as potent. Maybe you're getting 2 hours less than a competitor, for instance, but yeah. It's up to you and your particular use case. Packing all of these features actually leaves the case a little bit on the big side. It's thicker than I expected. The rounded shape makes it fit really easily inside your hand. And of course, throwing it inside your gym bag if you want to. But because of its shape, right? Because these are rounded and it's a little bit slippery, it's actually slipped out of my hand a couple of times, which is a little bit annoying. So just make sure that you look after it. These aren't the cheapest of headphones, right? One of my favorite things about this is how powerful the magnets in the case are. They click in your buds just like, check this out. They click in your buds just like the Infinity Stones on Thanos' glove. Oh! And the charging components on the inside protrude a little bit more than I've seen in other cases, which makes for a really nice fit, right? It's the quality of the seating of the buds is very, very strong. Connecting to my Samsung phone was really, really easy. Just make sure that you use the Bowers & Wilkins app to just get into it and get it connected. And to get into Bluetooth pairing mode, all you have to do is just hold both of the touch surfaces at the same time on top of the earbuds when they're inside of the case, and for a couple of seconds, and you'll see that there's be a blue light that flashes on the front, and then you know that it's in pairing mode. They do, however, support multi-point, so you can connect simultaneously up to 2 devices, which is really cool. This does not mean, however, that you can listen to both devices at the same time, something that I've made the mistake in the past of understanding how multipoint works. It's a little bit disappointing because that would be really sick. It'll just swap automatically to the device that's actually playing audio. But in order for you to switch to a new device, you're going to have to stop whatever's playing with the connected device and then proceed to play the music on the other connected device, and it will then automatically swap. It takes like a second or two. Unlocking all of the functionality of the Pi8s happens in the app. So that's like the heart of everything. And once it's connected, you can adjust noise cancellation, pass-through, or you can switch off both of those and just have it like an ordinary headset. Unfortunately, there's no ability to set the volume of the pass-through, like the ratio between the music and what's happening outside, which would be really nice. And because the earbuds sit so well in my ears, it kind of makes the pass-through a little bit negligible. It sounds a lot like the pass-through is off in my experience. It's there, but it could be a lot louder. It helps with my runs, right? For me to hear traffic. Traffic is pretty loud, but ultimately it's not a very strong pass-through, and don't know how it's going to work if you're ordering coffee. That, cliche example of having your headphones on and ordering coffee and being able to have a conversation to somebody. It's going to be really hard, especially if they're, soft-spoken. Fortunately for everyday use, there's actually a wear sensor toggle in the app that will automatically pause whatever's playing when you pop an earbud out of one of your ears and then continue playing that music or playing your audiobook or whatever when you put it back in. There's an advanced EQ, which is something the Pi7s did not have, so you can adjust the sound to your preference. The EQ is great out of the box, I must say. I think it's a little bit on the treble side of things. There's a lot less bass than I would like, but the EQ allows me to subtly push the bass just to round it off a little bit more for my ears. But everybody's got different hearing, and everybody's going to be able to tweak this to exactly how you want it to sound. My greatest disappointment so far, however, has been the touch control settings inside of the app. There are only two options right now. You get ANC and voice assistant as one option, or you can change them to volume control. You can't mix them up, which is a real bummer. ANC and voice assistant only lets you toggle between ANC and pass-through on the left earbud and use your phone's voice assistant on the right earbud. Volume control lets you decrease or increase the volume. Hold the one side of your earbud right to increase the volume and hold the left side to decrease the volume. And that's it. Those are the only options. You can't change what they do outside of those options, which is a little bit disappointing. I often switch it up. I know maybe a lot of people think I'm being really weird about this, but I like to change those options, especially because I use my earbuds with my Galaxy Watch when I run, and there's no additional controls for ANC on the watch, specifically once it's connected, because you leave your phone behind. You're listening to playlists on Spotify or audiobooks on Audible with your watch. But again, I'm probably a fringe use case. Tapping either earbud will pause or play music like you'd expect it to, and double tapping either skips to the next song, and triple tapping goes backtrack. And I love these defaults because they're a lot like the Samsung Galaxy Buds that I generally use, and that they're a system that I've actually really gotten used to for running. Like it's something that you get familiar with, and like double tapping to undo if you're an illustrator on a tablet. And I wish that more earbud manufacturers would default to these options that we're kind of familiar with. As far as the app goes, that's it. It's pretty bare bones, but I actually like that. There's no fussing, and you get what you need to out of the app, and you just get on with it. In reality, you actually want to spend as little time inside one of these earbud apps that you have to install as possible, right? Everybody's trying to throw apps at you, and that's not the reason that they're there. The reason there is to set and forget, in my opinion. These are extremely comfortable. I'm going so far as to say that they're the most comfortable earbuds that I've ever worn. Now, I know comfort is it's a subjective thing, right? Like, we all have different kinds of earlobes or ear canals. But for me, they're light. They're fit extremely well out of the box with the defaults, with the boxed silicone tip. And they stay in my head with vigorous head shaking, which is something that not every headset does for my ears. In the box, there are a few more earpieces, the silicone tips, that can fit your specific shape. So I guess that's an option if the default ones don't work. However, the stock ones that came with us were the best for me, so that's pretty cool. I also love the colors that they have, right? Like, they have a whole bunch of really cool colors, but my favorite, and why I'm fortunate I got these guys, is the white and the green ones. I like the green is like quite confident, and be cool. I want to see who actually goes ahead and picks up one of those. The active noise cancellation is really good. It's not the best that I've ever used, and that's going to have to go to the Bose QuietComforts, right? They do the best job for noise cancellation in total, and I think that's kind of Bose's thing, right? And those are the headsets that Jess, my wife, uses. She's on the Spectrum, and they are the ones that do that job extraordinarily well. These, however, seem to get rid of most of the humdrum of the environment when there's no music playing, right? It gets rid of like most of like subtle drones or whatever the case is, but you can kind of still sense it in the environment. But when you've got music playing, it really does feel like there's nothing out there. Like you're locked into a completely other world. The noise cancellation with the music kind of just shuts you out. I really wish that the ANC was better, mainly because we live in a neurodivergent household here, right? So better noise cancellation is always better to have around. But for most people, it's going to be pretty sufficient again. Like I have high needs for something like this, and I don't think I'd recommend these to people that are on the spectrum and are audio sensitive, because you're going to have to want something that's got better noise cancellation, probably some over-ears. The audio quality, though, coming out of these is exceptional. If you're into music, right, and you care about sound, and you're going to be in for like a real treat here. They actually support aptX lossless, aptX adaptive, aptX classic, AAC, and SBC. So if your streaming service supports lossless, or if your phone also allows you to stream in lossless, you can really make full use of whatever subscription that you're using, or music subscription that you're using. Or if you're getting your music off of Bandcamp at lossless, you're going to be really happy with these. The sound, even on streaming codecs, like without any of that lossless stuff, sounds amazing. It really, really does. Yeah, maybe I'm just getting old, but like they just sound great. There's so much space in the sound, right? It's not like a wall of sound hitting your ear. It feels like you're in a completely new environment, which is awesome. You can hear every single detail and the physicality of the sound. I think that's what makes it feel like you're in a room or a new environment, is that the sound is not just like hitting you, it's around you. And you must listen to this with acoustic instruments. Like any music, if you're into acoustic music, it's great. But ultimately, taking them out for a run completely sealed the deal for me. They fit so snugly. I said earlier, like I shook my head, they don't slide out, and they have a very, very strong connection to my Galaxy Watch 6 throughout the duration of my run, which actually doesn't happen quite regularly. It's kind of a big, it's kind of a very important feature for me to make sure that is consistent. The tap gestures were really nice and responsive, and there were no mystery taps, which I sometimes get on my Galaxy Buds when I'm skipping a track, for instance. Like I'll double tap, but it will think that I've tapped 3 times, for instance, which sucks. They're also IP54 water resistant, so sweat is no problem for them, but the design, and that's only for the Buds, by the way, and the design is so much more functional, right, than many other earbuds out there that are trying to look super fancy. And it's great for exercise. So the flat sides aren't touch sensitive, which I really appreciate. Like some of the Buds, like wherever you touch it or tap it, like, you're going to be activating something. Because of this, there's no phantom tapping from sweat that when it runs down your ears, that's what happens to me. Like the sweat rolls down over the round shape or whatever the case is, and then presses a button because it will activate the capacitive touch. But the sweat stops here. In fact, there's actually a little rim here where the microphones are that I think acts as a little bit of a gutter, not to be gross, but that really does protect it, and you can get like a really good workout session going without having to worry about your music being interrupted. The Galaxy Buds Live were very guilty of this, to be honest. And also, the other benefit of this design is that when I remove them, like I grip them on the sides, there's no mystery as to where I'm going to grab them without hitting the capacitive touch or triggering the next song or starting a track, or when you're like just holding the earbuds to talk to somebody else, right? Like you're just pulling them out. This is super annoying with podcasts and audiobooks, and it happens to me extremely often. Somebody at gym or whatever says hi, and I have to like, it's easier to drop headphones that are around, but this has just got really good grip, right? It's great. It's so well designed and thought through that I'm actually in love with these guys. Like, I'm not being weird about this. I've reviewed a few headsets, earbuds, and these like really, really speak to me. I honestly, didn't think that I would like these as much as I do. They seem a little bit unremarkable from the outside, right? You've probably seen them and you're probably thinking, oh, wow, there's better looking ones, the Denon Pros, the Bose ones. But they do the fundamentals of what an earbud should do so well without any silly useless features. And in fact, they've added valuable features like the wireless transfer of audio with the case that I think it's up there with the best earbuds in the market right now at the moment. You could, however, edge and say that Bose comes out on top here because they have, better ANC. But ultimately, these are an incredible set of earbuds. So, yeah, well done, Bowers and Wilkins. You've just won a brand new fan. This is the mic quality, by the way, just so that you know. So just take a listen.
So this is the audio for you. This is just an example. It's actually pretty good. I've actually got monitoring on now, so I can hear myself. Wow. You can still hear some of the drone of stuff around me. So like the computer that's droning and the aircon. But it's actually really good. Wow. Just a side note, I said a little bit later in this video that I wouldn't use these for recording a video. I actually might. They're that good. They're that good.
Mic quality isn't like a huge selling point for me with a lot of these headphones. It's nice to have, but like it's the fundamentals. They do it really well. It sounds great. Like I probably wouldn't use these to record a video, but like, it's not a lapel mic. These come under high recommendation for me. So yeah, well done, Bowers and Wilkins. I'll thank both of you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are interested in tech, but especially audio tech, I've got a brand new video also for the Denon Pearl Pros. It might be another headset that you might be keen on checking out. And I've got another video on what is ANC using the Bose QuietComforts. So you can go check those two out. And in the meantime, I'll see you in another video. Cheers.